In the West End, that's where police are investigating a shooting with several victims.
Local 12's Luke Jones has been at that scene since shortly after 9:30 tonight. Luke, what have you learned? We know the police chief is set to talk at any moment, right?
Yeah, we're expecting her to walk up and address us momentarily. We were told about 5 minutes ago she'd have more information on this situation. What we have gathered, multiple people shot, and we are hearing that at least one of those victims is a child. So you've got 5 victims potentially. That was initially called into police, sent to multiple hospitals. A number of other people here on scene did witness ambulances carting at least 2 of those victims off. Here is what we're seeing of the scene right now. We've actually been pushed back in the last hour. This scene spans several blocks. We're gathered here at the corner of Wade and Lynn, and that is right by Liberty and Lynn, if you're familiar with that area here in the West End. About an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, I saw a woman actually breach the crime scene. She was very concerned, inquiring about her brother, just very emotional. Police had to escort her back out of the scene. And then probably about 30 minutes ago, I actually saw a woman on this side of the crime scene run up, and she said her nephew had been shot, and she was hoping to get some information on him. So just a really tragic night out here. We, of course, don't have any conditions on any of those victims, and police have still not come out and confirmed it was indeed 5 people who were shot. But that's what was called into police. They did request 5 ambulances to come out here, so obviously you assume we could be dealing with as many as 5 victims. Again, waiting to hear from Cincinnati's police chief, and as soon as we do, we'll bring it to you live. But for now, we're live in the West End. Luke Jones, Local 12 News.
Luke, before you go, something you said on Star 64 at 10 o'clock I thought was really good for perspective for our viewers at home. You talked about the size and the scope of this scene here in the West End and how it was larger than what you typically see. Unfortunately, you've covered many shootings in this city.
Yeah, and I mean, you do have a big police presence, especially when you're dealing with fatal shooting scenes. And of course, we don't know if anyone died in this situation. We're going to have to wait on police for that. But just when you're looking at the size and the scope of it, block after block after block, and these are big blocks here too. There's a bunch of townhomes in this area. I was actually trying to get from this side of the scene to the other side just a while ago, and I had to do quite a bit of walking. Okay, we're seeing the chief walking up.
Just seeing it here to give us the latest on what exactly is happening here, flanked by people from the community. We're going to begin.
All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of information. It's minimal. It's very, very preliminary, but I know you guys are waiting to hear something. So just before about 9:30 tonight, we had shot spotter alerts down here at the area of Jones and Wade Street. Officers arrived on scene. We had multiple individuals shot. I believe 6 total victims as of right now, different levels of severity of their injuries. We do have 1 male deceased at the scene, but I don't have any information on the individual who's deceased, and we have not made notifications to the next of kin as of yet. Homicide is here working the scene. They'll be here for several hours processing the scene so that we can gather every bit of evidence that we can gather to bring whoever's responsible for this to justice. This is absolutely unacceptable in our city. Unacceptable that on a Friday night, 6 people were shot in one incident.
Chief, do you have any information on ages?
Not definitive ages. We do know there's a couple of juveniles involved, but I do not have their ages.
Was the deceased an adult?
A football game nearby tonight.
Yeah, no, there's no indication yet as to what the precipitating event to the shooting was. That'll be part of the investigation.
People are angry right now. What message do you have for the people in this area that say they feel neglected?
Yeah. Tell them I'm angry too. I'm angry too that this is happening in our city. This is happening too often. People are reverting to gun violence rather than resolving disputes in a humane manner. It is not humane to pull out a firearm and shoot individuals recklessly.
The person who was shot, was that an adult?
I do not know that at this time yet.
Suspect information? Is there a car or anyone that should be looking for?
The homicide is working that. They're talking to witnesses. I do not have that information yet.
People at home, should they be concerned? Is there a threat to the public or anything?
Not at this time. There's no indication that there's a threat, ongoing threat to the public.
Any idea the number of shots? One man told me he thought it was like an automatic weapon, 25. And I was like,
Yeah, I don't know. That'll be part of the investigation. Shot spotter picks that information up for us.
And when we say juveniles involved, we mean kids shot?
We have some juveniles that have been shot, yes, under the age of 18.
Do we know
When I say juvenile, let me preface that. That means under the age of 18 to us.
Do we know how many of them?
No, not yet.
Do we know where everybody was taken?
To the local hospitals, Children's Hospital, University of Cincinnati Hospital.
Last question.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So as you just heard, more people shot than we initially thought. A total of 6 people shot, including 1 male. Police didn't know whether that male was an adult or a juvenile. They do say a number of children, people under the age of 18, were shot. They couldn't tell us how many of those, and they had no information about what preceded all of this. Also, no suspect information at this point, but the call first came in just before 9:30, and it was actually their shot spotter technology that alerted them to the gunshots in this area. Again, right now, 6 people shot near the corner of Wade and Jones here in the West End, and a number of them were juveniles. We'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, real quickly, Luke, just to set the scene for people who might not be familiar with that area. I think someone was trying to get at the point, was there an event or something going on there? No one's leaving a game in that area. There aren't restaurants there to my knowledge, or can you set the scene a little bit?
Yeah, when we go a few blocks this way, this is east, and when I was standing there earlier, you can actually see TQL in the distance. I wasn't close enough, of course, to see if there was any type of event. I haven't seen a lot of people walking around right now. I'm over at the corner of Wade and Lynn, so about 3 blocks from even a visual of TQL, and really not a high traffic area over here.
It's very odd, actually.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you throughout this broadcast. Certainly throughout the night, you'll be there as long as needed, and we'll have events at local12.com throughout the evening as well, updates. Thank you, Luke.
And as we just heard Luke and also Police Chief Thigi say, it is believed there were shooting victims that were minors. She said juveniles under the age of 18 again.
2 under the age of 18 that we know. We don't know if the person who died is a juvenile. Local 12's Paige Barnes is live at Children's Hospital tonight. Paige, what have you been seeing?
Well, there was a strong police presence when we were there, and there's still a large police presence. We also saw people, at least 20, walk in together. And then a half hour later, some of the same people were escorted out by police. And those folks looked visibly upset. And also, while we were waiting here, there was a woman who passed by us saying that she was here to see her brother who had been shot. But that is as far as we know. The lobby is still active with police, as well as some lingering people believed to be family members.
All right, that was Paige Barnes reporting live for us tonight there from Children's Hospital. A lot of questions. Paige, thank you for that update there.
You can always find our stories here on YouTube, but go ahead and click subscribe to get notifications and stay in the know.